If you're new to my channel, subscribe. And if you have already, hey everyone, it's your girl Alisha, and if you're new to my channel, subscribe. If you already have, thank you for tuning into my guide again. Today I've got a what's in my iPhone video for you guys. Really excited to do this video. I've had this phone for about 5 weeks. I've lived with the iPhone for about 4 years now, and I've gone through so many apps, but I cleaned up house. I'm happy with what I have, and I'm also really happy that I got a 124 gigabyte phone so that I have the potential to add more, because with this phone here with only 32 gigs, I had to always delete apps and songs in order to have what I really needed on there. And now I have a little bit more leeway to play around. So I'm going to show you guys what's on my phone and go through it rather quickly because I can get super excited and carried away with these apps. So I'm just going to mention all of them, but I'm not going to get into them in super detail, because if you want, I can do a whole nother video where I talk more about my photography apps or my productivity apps, or what apps I suggest if you're legally blind or visually impaired, or girly apps or whatever. Just let me know in the comment section below and let go. First app is the Weather Network, and I love this app because you can use it just to get your general weather for your city. So it'll show you what the temperature is for Toronto. 17 degrees mid-November is very uncharacteristic, but I'm not complaining because it's way better than winter and blizzards. You can also change it so it tells you in which part of the city you're in what the temperature is, because in Toronto, not only does the weather change like 50 times a day, but depending on how far away you are from the lake, will determine how windy it is, how cold it is, whether it's snowy or sunny. It's like so different even if you're like 30 minutes away from the water. The next app is a calendar app, and I only ever use this one to see what day of the week something is. So if I'm at a doctor or dentist appointment and they're like, how does the 17th of December work for you? I scroll to there and then I look and I'll be like, okay, so the 17th of December is a Friday, right? I think it is. Saturday. Then I'll decide, oh, I can or whatever and what time, but I never put it into my phone because I just don't. I prefer to write down my planner. Over here is the time and the alarms and all of that stuff. So I have different times because some of my family resides in Antigua. So if I'm ever speaking with them or emailing them, I know what time of day it is. And I also have Paris because that's where my heart is. I left my heart there 2 years ago. And Stockholm is where my best friend lives. So I like to know day, night, if I'm Skyping, if I'm planning something, what time it is for them. I also have a whole bunch of alarms there because depending what day of the week it is, I have to wake up at certain times or get things done. Big Magnify, which used to be my favorite magnifying app until I got this phone, and for some reason it doesn't zoom as well as it used to when I use this little bugger. Sometimes I'm like trying to focus and I'm tapping and then an ad shows up and it's very frustrating. So thank God for the subscriber who mentioned that if you set the functions on your accessibility and you triple tap, that it actually opens your camera as a magnifying tool with no ads, and it's very clear. So this game changer. Camera, pretty standard. I love this camera so much because it has 2 cameras in there. It's so much better quality than the 5, which came out 4 years ago. Next up, I'm gonna say next up for everything. My picture roll, so there's a whole bunch of selfies in there. There's a whole bunch of promo pictures for whatever is coming up on my Instagram, and passwords apparently of things I can't remember. And then Google Maps, I'm not gonna open that because it's pretty self-explanatory. Calculator, use it almost every day, self-explanatory. This is called Next Bus, and it's really awesome because it'll tell you what time your buses are coming, and it's pretty accurate. Next to that, I have Wallet. So in there is your Apple Pay, which I haven't set up yet, but I have my Starbucks card, which I use too often to admit, and my Sephora card, which I also use too often to admit. I have Google Chrome, which you guys all know. I love Google Chrome. I prefer Google Chrome over Safari, but I have them both because some things open better on Safari versus Google Chrome and vice versa. Next to it is Content Creator, which I got a month ago, and it's changed my life. It really does give you a lot of insight into your analytics. You can scroll through. I love when the outcome is income, like Drake says. I also love when all the arrows point up and are green. So subscribe and keep watching, guys. I really appreciate all the support I've gotten over the last couple months. You can edit your descriptions, you can change your tags. So there's a lot of potential here that you can't do through the YouTube app, which I was struggling with before. I love that it's so much easier to respond to comments on this app too. Instagram, my favorite app in the entire world because I love visual. Figures a legally blind girl would love the visual app the most. Next to it is VSCO, VSCO if you like to spell it out. Favorite photography editing app of all time. The amount of filters you have, the options are almost endless. and I love that. I've paid for way too many, and I literally use 04 for every Instagram picture. This one was a Facebook picture, so I went outside the box with it. But I love that app because it allows you with so much functionality. It's easy to memorize, and a lot of apps I have to memorize how to use because I can't read the functions, so I just have to remember where the functions are. And I love notepads because they give you the option to make checklists, and I use this a lot when I'm like shopping or doing Christmas wish lists and stuff like that. Next to it is Rode, which I have yet to use on this phone, but I'm currently using on this phone because there's a headphone jack. It's allowing me to record my audio for all my videos and then import it to iTunes. Then I have Outlook. And I love this Outlook app because it gives you the ability to store multiple emails at once. You can check all of your email addresses, and I have a lot. And then you can organize it and filter it and delete it and archive it. It just gives you so much potential to take your email game to the next level, even though email is not even that big anymore. My favorite journaling app is called Day One. And I love this because it's password protected and it allows you to have multiple journals at once. So I have one for YouTube, like my ideas and my intentions for the future, and then a personal one where I kind of like jot down, brainstorm, and just let out my feelings sometimes. App Store, you guys already know what that is. Settings, I go into this pretty frequently. If I'm having a bad idea, I'll go in and expand my text, or I'll switch around a couple features. Then I have my social folder. I don't really like having all my social apps out because it's too tempting to always go into. So by making it in a folder, I'm less likely to go into Snap as often as I do, but I still go pretty often. So Snapchat's the first one because that's the most used one. I love Snapchat, second favorite social media app of all time. Follow me, alishabchic. Then Facebook pages because business, hello. So I have my alishainc page there. I'm kind of angry at Facebook because once upon a time, you could use a Facebook app to get into your messenger and get into your page, but now it won't let me access my page and post to it unless I have Facebook page. You already know you can't use Messenger unless you have the Messenger app, and then I have Facebook. So 3 apps when I believe that one should do it all. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me that it's unnecessary that there's so many apps for Facebook? The Starbucks app, because there's certain things that you can't do with the wallet that you can do with the app. Twitter, which I barely use. Next to that is Tumblr, which I love. It's kind of like my Pinterest. I love scrolling pictures and just feeling inspired. Skype is how I reach my friend in Sweden. Get Followers is a really good analytics website app for your Instagrams to see when people are checking you out or when they're posting, when they're on. Last one is IFTTT. Don't know how to pronounce that other than to spell it out. And this is a really interesting one because it is a recipe builder for your apps. So say you hate Twitter like me, but you know you still want to post for your Twitter people. You can post on your Facebook or on your YouTube or on any other social media site except for Snap, I believe, and it will sync it and post for you so that you don't have to individually go into every single social media site and app and post to that the same thing, which makes it so much more convenient for you. Photography. So these are all the other apps that I use as secondary. The first one helps you blur and get rid of blemishes. I've only used it like twice because I feel like it's too much work. If I have a blemish, allow it. Next to it is Snapseed, which is really amazing if you wanted to completely change the color of a background or make something brighter. It's very intuitive. It's intuitive, so thank Google for that one. Next to that is Enlight, which I don't really use, but if you were the type of person that wanted to take your thumbnail game to the next level, it's pretty awesome because it allows you to screen and layer and all kinds of stuff that you would be able to do in Photoshop, but it's kind of like a simple mobile version of that. Next to that is Facetune, which I really love, and I don't really use it for my face. I use it more for like smoothing out my comforter if I'm using that as a backdrop. UNUM. This one's pretty cool because it allows you to make your layout for Instagram before you post it, so you can see if pictures will match your theme, if something will look better maybe 2 away, if it's a third picture you want to post. I have my banking apps. I have TD and PC because 2 different banks for 2 different reasons. Down here I have my phone, my professional business mail, my messages, and iTunes. Second page, my games. So Fun Ways to Think, the original one, which I started playing to take a break from Fun Ways to Think 2 because that was my favorite game for the last month, and it's been getting so hard. And you only have a game you love, but it's kind of like annoying because it makes you think and you get frustrated that you don't get it. And when you get it, you're like, this is stupid. That's one of those games. Then this is like another version of it, and this is another version of it that I haven't opened yet. I'm preparing myself. Dots, which I've had on my phone for 4 years now. It's just like my old school throwback game. Pokemon Go, which I loved when it first came out, and I kind of got tired of after about 3 or 4 weeks. Flickr, which is amazing if you want to store photos and extract them later or send them to people because you have a terabyte of storage for free. References, so I got my thesaurus and my dictionary. Here is productivity, Genius Scan. I think this is an app that every single person should have, especially if you need to like scan things and send it, whether you're sending it to work, coworkers, your government, into forms, income tax, I don't know. It just comes in handy because it allows you to take a paper, put it onto your phone in a PDF form, and then email it right away. Next to that is Dropbox, self-explanatory. Then I have my Bluetooth to my Samsung printer, which hasn't really worked recently because my Bluetooth on my printer sucks. And last but not least, Microsoft Word in case I need to edit something before I send it off. Here are my free apps. I had a third, but I deleted it because it overheated my phone to the nth degree. It was like you could cook on it. But I kept How to Cook Everything because I can't cook it all. And I also kept the World Atlas that gives you a lot of cool fun facts about any country on the planet. Utilities, which basically is just me throwing all the apps that I don't want to see anymore, but Apple won't let me delete away from my phone. Scuba. So Square, which I hardly use, but I just feel like I should have my phone since I have a Square. And then Uber, which I also barely use, but is good in clutch times. YouTube, of course, Ovi. Then iMovie, which I always said I would make little trailers and movies for Facebook to keep you guys up to date with me, but I never do. Google Play, which is a game changer. This is the book I'm reading right now. Absolutely love it. And it allows me to see, because I can zoom in more than I could with iBooks or with the next app, which I used to love, which is Kobo Books, but they don't zoom in enough. Then after that is the Second Cup app, which there's a whole story for that, so just check the link if you want to be up to date. PC Plus, so I can collect points on groceries. Flip, which is also related to groceries, but this compiles almost every single flyer for the week you could ever imagine. You just put in the search bar what you're looking for. They got you covered from tires to whipped cream. A drawing app, and you guys are going to see how artistic I am. Fun ways to think too, the game that I'm super addicted to, and I had to stop playing it because, like, what is this? This is what makes me angry. Urban Outfitters app, because I'm addicted to Urban Outfitters Home, so that's a thing. Jam, which I always forget that I have on my phone, and then the time that I want to know what a song is that's playing at a restaurant or when I'm out, I forget to just click it and Shazam it, but I have it there. Airbnb, which is so good whenever you're traveling, especially when you're considering where you want to stay. Next is a food app, which is very similar to Just Eats. I don't know if Just Eats is Canadian or just Toronto, so if you have like an Uber Eats or Foodoria type of thing in your city, let me know what it's called in the comment section below. But you put it in your postal code and it'll tell you what's nearby, whether it's open, and if they do delivery or takeout. Last but not least, Spotify. So Jay recently got like a family package for Spotify and he added me to it, and I've been listening to a whole bunch of new music on it, which is pretty awesome because I've been listening to a whole bunch of old school on my iTunes. Not complaining because I love old school, but it's nice to listen to what's like new and fresh, and Spotify allows me to do that without having to pay for it or download a billion songs. That's everything on my iPhone 7 Plus. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you as always for tuning in, and until next time, love and later. Maybe if I turn down the brightness, you guys will see it a little better. Ew, it's like greasy. Okay, I have a whole bunch of alarms most days. Why can't I say it? The next app, I better not say the next app for this entire video. There, and of course, I have Toronto, so it's 217 and 17 degrees. Isn't that crazy? Next app, Google, and I have an embarrassing search up? Don't text me now. Whoa, whoa, whoa.